Hello everybody, I'm Famed427 and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. So, this is something I've been working on for the past couple of days, and it's actually something that may not be, the most complicated, may not be, the most spectacular thing in the existence of every human that has ever lived, but actually I'm pretty proud of it. I know that sounds weird to say considering the simplicity of it, but some things that actually went into it were a little not complicated, but we're a little kind of tricky to figure out at the beginning, but we're, pretty figured out. Why did you build this, I ask? Well, because I felt like it. Also, I've been watching a lot of the History Channel, a lot of stuff on the History Channel recently, and there's a TV show called Ice Road Truckers, and I actually kind of like it. And I was like, you know what, I'm bored, and I might as well do this, so I'll make a semi-truck. Plus, it's been something that I've kind of been wanting to make for like a long time, even before I started watching that TV show, just because it's such a not hard thing to do, but trickier thing to do in Scrap Mechanic, just because of the fact that it's technically two separate creations. Sure, I could save them again as one, connect them with some caution blocks or something, and like that, but they're saved as two different things. That way, pretty much, you can... it's just the way I decided to save them, but also it's like this way you can have pretty much, it's like here's generic semi-truck or big rig model that, again, it's like the whole, so this way you can have this basic model, and then you want to change it up and make it look, say, another way. Well, this way it's not, this way you don't have to save one whole thing. And again, same thing with this trailer. It's generic box trailer kind of thing, not exactly, so this way, again, you go back and change it. But anyways, I'm getting way off the point here. Pretty much, one of the thing that this was kind of based around is, so something that if you know me, you know that I have made this, along with this. So they're both on the Steam Workshop. This was like my first wasn't my first creation put on the Steam Workshop, but there was other ones, but this is the first one that I was really proud of. And then this one was like a second one that I wanted to kind of make that was based off of a real truck. A truck that I was basing it off of was a thing from a tiny miniature train set thing. So it's like it's based off of something that's based off of I based it off of. Yeah, it's weird. So pretty much it's I guess you consider this part of the series of realistic, hyper-realistic cars. These two used a lot of mods, especially the first one, just because I started to make this pretty much once I started to get used to the whole idea of, oh my god, wait, mods, and they're not exactly hard to download and things like that. I don't have to go down into this secret hidden file just to install it kind of thing. It's just, I subscribe to it. Make sure it's selected when I go to load a world. I have it. Yay. So it had a lot of mods, which at the time that I was making it, I thought it was cool, but I've tried to tone down my mod usage a lot. This is something that I've noticed. I don't exactly like to have a lot of mods. I like to have a few main mods and maybe one extra kind of thing, but what usually happens is it's the why do it when you can overdo it kind of thing. So it's especially what happened with this one. I got way too in over my head with mods, so a lot of things got used. I believe that these are staircase blocks, but it's some other bits in here that, like these pieces. Recently I found out about, it's actually convenient that that's open, but I found out about the vent duct corners, and those are in the base game, and I didn't know that. I thought you needed a mod for that, so I had forgotten about some of those things. So yeah, there's particularly in this one, there's a lot of mods that are in here that I don't actually need to be in here. And then with this one, there's I think one or two pieces, or not one or two, but there's a handful of pieces that don't need to be from mods that are, again, in mods, but just because. But yeah, so pretty much it was cars that I had wanted to take from real life or inspired from real life. In this case, this was inspired, and then this was putting into Scrap Mechanic, and then this one was taken from, I guess some taken from real world, and then what I imagined it'd look like, and yeah. So I guess let's just kind of get into a proper tour. So First thing is, obviously, this is not meant to be a big, spectacular, super duper uber hyper version of this semi-truck. It's meant to be pretty much a base generic model that you can pretty much easily reform, or fairly easily, yeah. Pretty much reform and make into your own molding. It's pretty much, here's a bare basic skeleton of what you need to have to function with the trailer, and the trailer is the bare bone stuff of what it needs to function with the truck. So pretty much, I'm hoping to put this up on the Steam Workshop. I know I say that with a lot of my things, and I never do, but that's because I end up thinking about it and not doing it, or I just forget, which I should actually probably go put up a few of the stuff. But yeah, so pretty much it's meant to be a as long as you don't touch, you know, some of the mechanics in here, but you can like, again, pretty much all the things that you see visible on the outside here you can change. Okay, maybe not that block there, but yeah, so it's the whole, as long as you don't touch the mechanics. And I mean, you can kind of wiggle some things around, you know, take off the barrels, or no, it was oh god, what were they called? I can't remember what they were called in Scrap Mechanic. But yeah, you can see there's like way too many mods. You can see how small it is because there's so many blocks. And I don't exactly like that. Like, there's literally, just to show you the few things in here, I had to like install so many other things that I didn't really like to, just because my creation had 1 or 2 pieces from the mod. Which really sucks. What is it called? There we go. Tanks. They're called tanks. Okay, so yeah, these are just tanks and then valves. This is, yeah. So most of this is vanilla, like that's vanilla. That isn't. That's just because there's mods that I can relate to that. But yeah, so really it's just meant to be a bare bones thing that you can switch up and change. One thing that I have started to do a lot recently, just because it's really cool and fun to do, and not as difficult as, say, oh, I don't know, making a gas tank or something, like Con Gaming did. If you watch any of his things, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't personally know him. I just, you know, watch him and things like that. But yeah, so it's not complicated. It's complicated. But one thing that I do like to do is make blinkers, and pretty much a lot of the signals and effects that you would have in regular vehicles. This is a mod engine. I wasn't super stoked about using a mod engine. Thankfully, it's not like a uber powerful one. I believe if we just go search up there you go. I believe it's this one, so it's just 3 wide engine. But yeah, as you can see there, so it's for odd width creations, and hey, guess what? This creation is odd width. Why, might you ask? Well, because it needs to have a center beam to swivel properly. Really, the swivel's actually on the trailer, but it still needs that center bit so this way things aren't offset. So yeah. But really, what these things are is, so as you can see here, there are WASD blocks from, I think it's not Lego. I keep wanting to say Lego Freaks, but it's not. I think it's, oh god, I still have a little bit of a cold, so I should probably be talking a little softer. It's from the same person that made this mod. It's from this one. I can't remember what it's from. God, it's gonna be really obvious when I look at it. But pretty much it uses those WASD blocks. And if we bring out the tool here, it looks complicated. In reality, it's not actually that complicated. Pretty much these WASD blocks are connected to these antenna/receiver blocks that are colored to these. They don't actually need to be colored. Well, the receivers and senders need to be colored, but I just colored them specifically that way. So pretty much what it is these two are pretty much not repeaters. They make loops, so it's a timer that makes a loop. And what it does is, I believe this one is for so these particular things in here are meant specifically for the, what is it, for the truck itself, so for the actual vehicle on its own. So it has its, as you can see, its own blinkers. It's got reverse lights, stop lights, blinkers for left, right, things like that. So pretty much it's, if I were to press, say, A, it would start start this timer, which would send actually technically pulses on and off signals to both of these AND gates. But since only all of the switches on this one for A are activated, it'd turn on the one to go right, or no, left. Why did I say right? But that's really it, and then it works the same way on here. It's so if K of D is pressed, then it activates things like that. It's again, they're both connected to an XOR gate. This white one at the back here is for two things. It is, I believe, it's connected to the S button here. So when I press S, it activates another same timer that's connected to the reverse lights on the back, but it doesn't actually make them blink, I believe. I can simply change that to make them blink if I wanted to. I just really decided not to. That was just more of a personal thing. Again, you can really go easily change that. I think honestly it's really just what is it? So so really it's just, again, which blocks are connected to what and things like that. But it turns this thing on in the back here, which is a backup siren. I don't know what to call it. Alarm, like you know that. Excuse me. But you know what it makes, again, bigger things make that noise. This red block is connected to the red lights at the back, because stoplights, and pretty much they're simply just connected to a W block, which is if I send a on pulse into it, it'll turn off. So it's pretty much the stoplights are on when the car isn't moving or you don't have the W key pressed down. And when you have the W key pressed down, it turns off. And then pretty much what these receiver blocks do is they take signals from these WAS and D blocks. And as you can see here, nope, not here. Here there are some receivers that are colored the same. And pretty much what it does is, you can see here that there are some things connected to it from here, but we can get to that later in a second. Pretty much what it does is there's another pulse machine, why do I keep calling machine? A timer circuit that's pretty much connected to the left and the right things are connected to AND gates, and then there's also a reverse thing. Pretty much it's the exact same way that it worked up there with the whole left-right thing, except instead of having the input from the direct actual WASD blocks, it's being sent out over via receivers to the same thing, and it literally goes into the exact same thing. And so as you can see here, the red light is on because the W isn't getting an input, which is why there's red back here and things like that. So it's literally the exact same thing except just on here. Now this doesn't actually have the little backup noise siren thing. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of these just because I don't think they're causing lag, but I just don't want none of that clutter. But pretty much what this is here is okay. So first off, we'll start with the simple thing. This here is just some bearings. This is how it hooks onto the trailer, and when you go to actually use the trailer, you want to disconnect. Actually, I could have just lifted it off from there, but I don't know why I didn't. You pretty much want to disconnect that one because that allows for swivel. But when it's not, you just want to keep it connected. One of the things you have to do, just to again, keep. You could drive around with it not being swiveled, I guess, but not recommended. So pretty much, yeah. So that also connects into these pistons, and yes, I am well aware that this is on a weird angle. It's meant to be, and when these things go down, it does fix itself along with some other stuff on here that's related. So pretty much now, yeah, I'm gonna get to more of the trailer stuff. Obviously, this little part here is pretty much just to have that move up and down. That just helps this part slide into the hook easier. I'm really going back and forth here. I didn't exactly have a proper way of explaining this. I had a general gist of what I wanted to go over, but not perfect. There's a tracker on here. I'll explain that in a second. But yes, that's just really simple. This over here, so this is a distance for a tracker and well, distance. So I believe this one's tracker and then this one's distance. These two sensors, these things are mods. This uses not the Intelligentsia mod. I think it's from the mod pack, but this just uses some some simple math things. Pretty much, this block here is showing this output. So this is pretty much the distance that I don't know best way I can say it is. So there's a greater than less than thing. So pretty much this one, I believe in this case, is white needs to be, so the white number here needs to be, or white inputs need to be greater or equal to the non-white or black inputs. I think it says non-white, I can't remember. And pretty much what this does is, so these two are telling, pretty much it's telling the distance from the nearest tracker. And as you can see, they're not colored. So pretty much what happens is this block just displays the actual distance. I didn't put digit ones on there just because, you didn't really need to. But pretty much what it does is it puts the input into there and then takes the input from there. And if the distance that these two trackers are giving out is greater than this white one that you put in for the then what happens is it sends us, as you can see, it's not sending a signal into here, and these are connected to a bunch of AND gates and things like that over here. So pretty much what this does is, as you can see the tracker there, is, so it's not within, I believe, 9 blocks, I think is what I set it to, because I think it was supposed to be like 7 or something, but I gave 2 blocks of wiggle room. Yeah, it's 9. I gave 2 blocks of wiggle room just because, again, the thing can turn around and stuff. The trailer swivels, so need a little bit of wiggle room. But pretty much what happens is, as you can see here, if you look at the back, I know you can't exactly see it. You can kind of see the red light there, but if I do this, you can see here that the lights on the trailers aren't going on even when I'm adjusting it, and that's because the tracker isn't within the right distance to activate part of these AND gates to then allow the signal to go through. So that's pretty much the way that it allows for you to, go on with the trailer, use the trailer itself without having to, worry about the lights turning off and things like that. Again, just something extra to make it more realistic. Like, I literally just could have used, if I wanted to, I could have just literally used all the stuff that's on this, on the truck, and then just had antennas and receivers attached to them if I wanted to, and I could have been done there. But because I wanted to make things separate, so it allows for, again, more customization, things like that. It makes things a little easier, and all you really need to end up worrying about is tracker distance and colors of receivers and senders, and making sure everything fits properly and everything's the right it's makes it just all one big compatibility bundle thing. So I guess I should show you how these things attach. So good. Okay, that is still connected. So I'm going to go get into here. I'm also gonna go cover this up. Oh yes. Also, I don't know if this is important, but I really like this kind of suspension. I don't know. It's really cool, and it seems more realistic than just having that kind of suspension. One downside is, especially with the way I had to design it here, as you can see, it's got a very narrow bending point, so if you go too fast and turn too hard, it can flip over. But you really just shouldn't be, last time I checked, you shouldn't exactly be drifting with a semi-truck and a trailer, so yeah. Also, yes, I am aware that that piece is there. I put that there for, a reason. So it's an extra attaching point. But yes, I'm just going to cover that up. And we're going to get into here, and we're just going to... There we go, okay. Yeah, shoot, okay. A little more to the left. It does kind of get a little laggy. I'm thankful enough to have a somewhat powerful computer, so I'm not affected as much. But if you, say again, don't have, you know, a super beast ultra mega computer, I mean, I don't even have something like that, but you know what I mean, it shouldn't affect you that much. Okay, so we went way too far there. Okay, I'm gonna press the 4 key. Ah, shoot. There you go. It's a little weird, and you don't exactly have to do it the way I did. There is quite a bit of wiggle room. I just like to be safe. But pretty much what you want to do when you're hooking it up is make sure that these 2 little end bits on the trailer wrap around pretty much the area of the piston. And then first what you want to do, and actually if I wanted to, I could go into the truck and do this, but I'm just going to do this out here. There's a switch on this side. As you can see, it brings that up and pulls that down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lower the piston here. The piston only extends 1 block, but it's pretty much just gives wiggle room, as you can see. And now, if we go and detach that, and then get back into our truck. As now, I am getting a little bit of lag, but that happens just for the first little bit. As you can see here, I moved a bit, and now I'm back up to like a couple hundred frames. So I'm going to, I believe it's 3, yep, just to close the door, and then I'm just going to zoom out, and I'm not going to back out just because I'm not great at driving in general, so I'm just going to twist around here, and yeah. By the way, that pole down there at the bottom, as you can see, like right close to the canisters, tanks. It's not actually important. It doesn't do anything. It's just at a, you know, it's meant to look like the, I don't know what the the shaft tube thing pipe that spins the wheels. Tried to make it look more realistic. But yeah, so now as you can see, if I hold, say, the W, or not W, A and D key, or D key, just the D key in this case, you can see that the lights at the back there on the trailer are flicking on and off. That's because, again, the tracker's close enough, and then you can do that. Same with, again, the backup key and stopping. So, yeah. Probably shouldn't have gone up this hill. Wasn't exactly paying attention. So I guess I'll drive around a bit, and show you. Now, compared to some other vehicles that I have made, it actually drives considerably well, as you can see. Again, obviously, just don't go too fast. I tried to find a good speed on the engine that allows for decent speed without it going super duper ultra crazy fast, but still having enough, you know, going fast enough where you have enough control, but you know you're not gonna flip out too much, unless you're, again, being really stupid and bringing a semi truck on roads that are like this. But I don't know what you're doing. But yeah. Now the weight on the trailer isn't exactly, it obviously needs to have some weight to it, before I actually added the, as you can see, pretty much, you know, see there's a separation of gray to white. Pretty much everything that was white on that back trailer that was added on, was pretty much added on afterwards. Well, not afterwards, after adding some of the stuff, but most of the stuff. Pretty much, the weight on the trailer, if you say want to customize this, as long as you keep pretty much what is essentially the gray stuff at the bottom, the things that's below that on, I guess, everything should be fine. It can be a flatbed or something, or, yeah. Thankfully, I mean, I haven't obviously put a lot of heavy things in this trailer, so I think you should be fine, but the suspension at the back of the semi-truck, obviously, it should be fine, especially since there's 4 sports car, just regular sport suspension pieces. I would have gone with off-road, but since off-road is like 1 block bigger, even just 1 block can actually make quite a bit of difference and change up the way I had to make things, and also just makes things really oddly tall. So yeah, let's just keep driving this around. Buttons. So first button is just lights on at the front here. That's literally all they do. It's just lights on the front of this, on the front of the truck. Second button, that's a horn. Third button is opening the doors, and then fourth button is that little piston thing on the back to raise it up and down. But yeah, I don't know, it's pretty cool, I think, but yeah, so that was I call it a semi-truck. I've heard people call it big rigs. I've heard other people call it bogies before, which is weird. I shouldn't say it's weird. When I was young, I used to call it bogies. But yeah, so that was a semi-truck and trailer, generic model kind of thing. Again, that's why it's white. And yeah. But either way, if you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to like button if you want to see more of my content, subscribe and leave a comment down below, as is appreciated. Either way, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.